struggling to cope with your studies? Are you struggling to cope with being a self learner because of what the colleges and schools have not taught you? That is, after you finish your degree, it, it is essential for us to keep in touch with our reading and to read a lot of books, because that enables us to be more stronger, more fit mentally and matured, and it also helps us to know there are different areas of knowledge for which we all know we have hardly 5% of knowledge in us. To increase that knowledge by reading 1% every day, we can be super learners. It also keeps, it's an activity for the brain, it is also an activity for the eyes, and at the same time, we are preoccupied with something that gets us into the thinking mode and thinking in the right direction, so that we are more logical and more analytical when it comes to taking a decision. And decision making is very vital in today's leadership. And why not get into the habit of reading 5 pages every day? That will not only enable us to know more, gain more knowledge, and also be aware of what is going on around us by reading the right kind of self-help books. Isn't it common knowledge that half of the girls, after they get married, literally follow that saying that stop studying, learn cooking, sort of an idea that is drilled into them, that once they get married, they should stop reading. It's unfair, but it is also true that we need more women to realize they rock the cradle which rocks the world, and to have better knowledge of what is going on around them will allow them to take the right decisions as parents, and it also enables them to know more about how to cope with a crisis, how to select the right choice of subjects when it comes to their kids, and also help them to take matured decisions. To begin with, we start with decision making. Are we as grown up leading, or are we just dealing with day-to-day situations as it comes in? Do we have a daily routine, a morning routine, an afternoon routine, and an evening routine? Are we keeping ourselves physically fit? Are we doing our exercises which enables to keep us strong? For example, it is said in the 30s, when we do a lot of sit-ups, exercises, our knees will be more flexible as we grow older. That is 20 years from then. But what happens to most of us? We do not do it. And as a girl child, if you have stopped learning to climb stairs, learning to climb over walls, learning to climb trees, you have not done it in childhood, won't it affect your normal delivery? It does. Because climbing and stretching exercises are to be done by girls. To make the normal delivery process easy. But what happens most of the time? You also realize children who are born through cesarean are not so strong enough. But those children born through normal delivery are strong kids. And children today, women today, even before they go in for the delivery would have opted for cesarean much more before 6 months, 7 months, because that's what they don't want to go through that pain. Girl children have a set of things, have to do more of stretching exercises, more of hand and eye coordination exercises. They have to do a lot of reading. They need to do a lot of voice modulation exercises, because to enable to bring up kids in a calmer and smoother atmosphere, girls also need to know how and when to be firm. For all that, voice modulation helps a lot in girl children. It is not because the girl child is only to obey, to be play a secondary role in the household. She has to learn financial independence. Why not learn home budgeting the right way? Have to know the basics of home budgeting. What is required to run a home? What is required for the monthly home budget? Apart from grocery, maintenance, children's fees, and running the household, be it clothing, be it setting the house, what is required for the house and the home, and how important is her skills in reading and studying knowledge. It's important. And the first command that came to to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was Iqra, read. It's a powerful command, read. But most of us have put it aside. But no, that command is what defines successful people today. Because successful people read a lot of books. They read to keep themselves motivated. They learn to keep themselves calm under trying crises, to take one thing at a time. They also learn how important it is not to take immature decisions based on somebody else's assumptions or presumption, or the articulation of making people believe that this is so, what happened, where they know both sides to the story and only one side is projected. It says something is loop-sided, because even a coin has two sides, and if we have to understand why two sides, and it's important. When you look at a coin, you know how important it is. You have the head, you have the tail. So every side has two sides. Your personality has two sides. What you know, you think you know, and what you think you do not know, and you are unaware of what you don't know. And what you are unaware of, not know, what you don't know, mostly comes under the bracket of weaknesses, minus points. What you consider your strength could also be a weakness, a minus point in some way in certain situations. To overcome that, we need to read. We need to know where we are, where we lack, where is the actual gap between our knowledge, our skill, and our ability to implement what we have learned. Because when it comes to time management, what we are actually defining is how are we implementing our activity to give us better productivity. We cannot manage time because we know once time moves on, we cannot get it back. But what we get back is what we put into that time, and that comes through planning, setting goals, and working up regarding how we can have more productive, more happier lives by being self-aware of which side of the personality gels with us. But every time 1% growth or 2% growth as we read and acquire knowledge makes a wholesome difference to the way we look at crises or challenges or obstacles. We always will have better ideas when we keep ourselves knowledgeable through books, and also we learn. There's lots more to learn. Why lot more to learn? Because as a human brain is, we have not filled it with knowledge more than 5 to 10%. So 90% of knowledge out there in the world is unexplored and by us. We have not challenged our own mental abilities. Be it when it comes to memory. Why is that we tend to forget? Because we're not doing the basics of reading something, pausing, recalling, and revising what we have read. See, it goes similar when we are looking for things in the house. If we have a fixed place, if we have a clear-cut idea of where we have placed our things, we do know when we pause that this is the place we have kept our thing. This is a place we have kept our files, this is a place we have kept our receipts, our bills, and all this helps us to gain better, make our life much more simpler. That is, we are not wasting time. We are efficient. We become more efficient when we not only pause and recollect and remember, we don't feel our memory is fading away. We also know sometimes we have recurring thoughts, self-defeating thoughts that limits our belief in ourselves, and we are just building cobwebs after cobwebs and then connecting one to another which has no connection at all. All it needs is for us to become aware and point at the right point which can disable the cobweb in no time. Being aware of our doubts, being aware of our recurring thoughts, penning down things. Why do we have to pen down what are our recurring thoughts? Why do you have to pen down our goals? Why do you have to pen down our dreams of what we want to become? But as we strictly follow the command to read, we can achieve a lot more. Why are we failing? Because we are getting diverted and distracted towards other means which are giving us the pleasure and are not making us stronger. Because you look at an individual who goes through a trial and ordeal, they learn to come out more powerful, because God always prepares for more. God always prepares us because as it is said, God doesn't burden us more than what we can bear, which meant that whatever trials and ordeals and obstacles we face it because God is preparing us for better things, and He is also making us stronger. Why not spend some time every day contemplating what we have to do and why we need to do it? Is it for the better? Is it to acknowledge and have the attitude of gratitude for everything that has come in your lives? Because without the attitude of gratitude, a lot of things are lost. A lot of things are not understood in the right manner, because half baked knowledge is very dangerous. But as you keep upgrading your knowledge, you also learn that it's important for us to know what exactly the different viewpoint is. As it is said, a traveler who travels around the world gets a whole lot of experience and gets a whole lot of insights and new experience. They must have heard something challenge, they would have believed it. Once they travel and have an experience for themselves, the viewpoint changes, the way they look at things change, and and inbuilt campaigns which have been made against people just as a propaganda, which is not true. But when it comes to truism, we have to look at each individual case with each individual understanding that the two sides to every coin. And when we hear both sides of the coin, we also realize that there's some gap in communication. So we also learn how important it is to cope with communication, learn the right art and skill of communication. And once we do that, we also learn why communication is important and how that helps us to take matured decisions. Hope this was useful on why it is important to read and why it is so important today, in today's world, in the 21st century, to learn more and earn more. Hi, I'm SELMAARTZ signing off this talk on why decision making play a critical role in our lives. Thank you.